Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about more Scream news. Obviously yesterday or the day before, by the time this video goes out, we found out that Neve Campbell is coming back to star as Sidney Prescott in the next Scream film, and Kevin Williamson will also be back, but he will be directing instead of writing the film. So we've got two major players definitely coming back to Scream 7 or the untitled Scream 7 movie. And this video is really about what else can happen now, who else can return to this Scream project now that we know that Sidney's back and Kevin Williamson is back. Now before I begin, what I'm going to do is tell you this. I've got a hat on that is a tribute to someone, and I've got a shirt on that's also a tribute. I'll give you bonus points, guys, if you can identify these garments. So anyway, with Sidney coming back, it seems obvious now that Mark Kincaid will return. Patrick Dempsey is most likely going to be returning as Mark Kincaid. Now, I did see a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Dempsey posted on his Instagram, "Hello Sidney," and that's obviously now we know that Sidney's back. That was obviously a little nod and a little wink wink to the fans that some news was coming regarding Sidney Prescott, and it definitely did. So I can safely assume that Patrick Dempsey will be returning as Mark Kincaid. Now my memory is a little fuzzy. I know they've got a small kid, but they've got children. The small kid appeared in a buggy, a pram in Scream 5, so that kid's obviously not going to be old enough to do any running around, but I don't know if they have got any older kids. I can't remember if they had older kids or not. I don't think they mentioned. However, they could take this opportunity to say, yes, we've got like a 16-year-old child or a 16-year-old teenager, that maybe that kid can go to Woodsboro High. That wouldn't be the right thing to do if you were Sidney Prescott, but that kid could go to a school where a ghostface comes and does copycat killing, but that might take the shine off of Sidney Prescott, so maybe they won't do that. However, if they have an older teenager kid, that could be somebody else in this film that we could be scared for. Now, we've never ever had a returning Ghostface killer, and I feel like now is the time to do that. Give us back a Ghostface killer that we had previously who didn't die. And obviously I'm going to be saying Matthew Lillard should return as Stu Macher. I just think it should come full circle now. Sidney's back, Mark's going to be back. We've also got Kevin Williamson directing. I just feel like now is the time to give us what we've always wanted. We wanted Sidney back, but a lot of us wanted Stu Macher back. Yes, he died in Scream 1, but this is a horror film. It's not real. And if he returned, it's not realistic in the sense that you would probably die with that weight of a TV on your face, but at the same time, you could still survive, especially in the movie world. Where has he been for the last 25, 26, 27 years? Who cares? He could have been in jail for 25 years and got out after 25 years. They've got no evidence against him killing people. It might have been Billy Loomis that killed everybody. There's no mention until Scream 6 that Stu Macher was actually dead. And even in Scream 6, they questioned it as well. In Scream 5, they definitely questioned if Stu Macher was still alive or not. So even within the story of all the Scream films, there's no definite confirmation that Stu Macher is dead. Now, you see on the bulletin board that he got killed, but this is a character, Kirby, who didn't even know that Wayne was the dad of Richie. So if she doesn't even know that, then what are the chances of her knowing that Stu Macher is still alive? So there is a lot of plot holes where you can pull back in Stu Macher and still make it semi-realistic. I think there's also potential to bring back Martha, although I don't know what we would need to do with Martha because she wasn't a big character to begin with. However, if you want to incorporate any characters from Scream 5 and 6 and you want to bring Chad and Mindy back, then why not bring Martha back as well, because she is obviously the mother of those two kids anyway. So if Chad and Mindy are coming back, and if you want to feel some sort of originality, then bring Martha back as well, because Martha was in Scream 3 and so was Mark Kincaid as well. So you want to have some sort of originality to build all these characters back up again so it feels like it's coming back full circle. I don't feel like Chad and Mindy need to return anyway, but I think if there's any contractual obligations to those actors, then they will need to make an appearance somehow. But if they make an appearance, I don't know how the story's going to go, because Sidney Prescott is away. There's no need for her to meet up with Chad and Mindy because she doesn't owe them anything. She doesn't need to contact them or interact with them. However, I feel like if they are going to be interacting with each other, the only way to do that would be to bring back Gale Weathers, with Courtney Cox returning in that role. I think Courtney Cox had an executive producer role or something in Scream 6, so it wouldn't surprise me if she returned into a similar role, and obviously her being written back into the story. She obviously didn't die in Scream 6 if we're following that timeline as well, so it was a no-brainer to bring back Gale Weathers because she is one of the hearts and soul of the original trilogy and obviously Scream 4. Could we see the return of Kirby Reed as well? I think so, because she was a fan favourite. She was one of the best things about Scream 6 as well, so I don't see why not. I think one of the issues with Kirby is she did die in Scream 4. It was written by Kevin Williamson and he wrote her to die in that film, and the fact that she was brought back, he probably didn't think it was a good idea, but she was brought back anyway. So I think in Scream 7, if he's got anything to do with it, with him directing the film, he might end up killing her off again for the second time. I feel like if you bring back those major players, let's go through them all: Sidney, Mark, Gale, Kirby, Martha, Chad, Mindy and Stu Macher, I think with those 7 characters, we could have a really good Scream film. I don't know what you would do with the setting, how you would bring them all together, but with Stu Macher returning to kill Sidney once and for all, that brings back the originality. However, as we know, there's usually more than one killer. Not always, but usually more than one killer. So we could have another surprise with either a new Ghostface killer or even another Ghostface that didn't die. And I think that would be too far-fetched. But bring back Stu as one of the killers and maybe bring in a new character that we can guess along the way as being the second killer, because not only do I want to bring these characters back, we're obviously going to get new characters that we're introduced to as well. New characters that we can go, oh, maybe that's the killer, oh, maybe that's the killer. And eventually we'll find out that one of these new characters is the killer or is one of the killers, and bringing back someone that we've seen before as a returning killer, or even bringing back someone to be the killer, like say Mark Kincaid, then that would be interesting, but maybe too far-fetched as well. So Stu for me has to come back as the killer. If he doesn't, I won't cry about it like some people say, but I prefer to see Stu coming back as one of the killers and give us a brand new killer alongside him. There's still so much to talk about with this new Scream film. More news will come out obviously as time goes by, because the film is coming out for definite next year. So we will get more casting, maybe some secret casting will happen behind the scenes, but rest assured I won't stop talking about Scream coming out, especially Stu returning as one of the killers. That's something that I'll always champion and I always want to happen. But what do you guys think? Do you think any of these characters should return? Do you think any of the characters that I mentioned shouldn't return? And why? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back! See?